Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. Today is May 19th, 2014. Today is Monday. Well, welcome to our morning market review. This is Razak at CMTrading. We're going to just jump into the economic calendar as we always do. It's going to be somewhat of an interesting week. We start out with a European number this morning, a German PPI number that is an inflation rate number. As we see, it's a high impact number. It should come out around at 9 o'clock South African time. And then later today, it's going to be all GBP. The Great Britain pound, first with the CPI number, and then the Bank of England is going to have a monetary policy meeting at 11:30 today. So we should expect to see major news and major impact of this news that is coming out on England to reflect on the GBP. Just to go over some of the symbols that we've been watching. As you can see here, the Euro USD, after last week's initial tank and then fade, we've been really trading in a very tight range right now. Yes, is it something to keep on the barometer this week? Absolutely, but we've kind of hit this plateau at 139-ish, and then this on the downside high 136-ish, and we've been just going back and forth from it. So maybe not anything today will unfold in the Euro USD, but later in the week I do expect some things to come out. But more importantly, let's just jump into GBP USD and the GBP Japanese yen. So the GBP USD, as we can see here, has really topped off. If you remember, we were looking at this graph last week, really going up on this tremendous tear over the past year. On a weekly channel, we see that it's literally broke its highs at above 167.5, 167.8, and is comfortably sitting at 168. Now we touched 170, and then we retraced about 180 pips. So we're on the higher edge of it, okay? And on the looks of it, it really has wanted to take off on the upside. Now, there are a couple of resistance points. Let's just highlight them here so we get a sense of what we're up against today. 1, 2, 3. That is one resistance point, 168.40. Okay, that I would say is somewhat of a resistance. And then this head and shoulders formation at 169. Okay, so this being the head, this being the left shoulder and the right shoulder. Okay, so there is room for this on the upside. Okay, if it checks through 168.40 and checks through 169, we could really see ourselves chugging along up to 169.80. But on the downside, we have a little bit of room. Okay, at 167, a little bit of room at 167.800, and then further down at 167 whole. Okay, this would be my third support for it. So depending on how it's going to react to the news today, you could use these pivot points as possible entry points. If we take a nice spike up and it doesn't look like it's going to go further at 169, you can maybe short it a little bit on this downside, or buy it in anticipation that it's going to bounce right back. But you really have to be on ball. You really have to be on top of things and make sure that you're trading somewhat defensively, because as you know, when you are trading the news, things can get out of hand. So those are three levels I would give in the GBP USD. Jumping into the GBP Japanese yen, still very, very strong. The yen isn't really strong compared to the GBP, as we can see here. It really has flatlined. We've gotten to this area at 168, 167.90, and then 174, and we've been trading almost like the GBP USD. Although this does seem a little bit stronger. Okay, so this is on a shorter time range. So if you're buying it, if you anticipate the number to be good and you want to go in with the number, you could look to enter it at these levels. Maybe put a stop loss a little bit below it at 169.50, It does have room to go on the upside, but just realize, this thing has had so much resistance on the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it continuously doesn't want to break this 173 level, but ultimately, unless there's specific and consistent momentum, it really could, because it has that, and has had that momentum over the past year. So again, this would be another potential trade for today on the GBP Japanese yen, and just jumping into the USD Japanese yen also. Trading really, if you look at this, it's on its support. Okay, you can see it right here. It's almost a straight line. Okay, every time it wants to hit it, it just bounces right off. This concerns me a little bit because this is somewhat of a head and shoulders formation. It's a little bit of, it's not really a double top, but then it maintains this channel between 101.30 and 102.750. But it's making lower highs, which is inclining me to think that this is more of a short, and then maybe we could hit 100, 105 as a possible support level. That we could play this level on the way down. But again, keep it on the radar, all right? Because these things will unfold, and unless you're privy to them, unless you're conscious of them during the day, they might get ahead of you. So what you can do is also set an alert at these levels to let you know that everything is either being breached or not. Lastly, let's just go to the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones sold off big last Friday, down 200 points over last Thursday. It bounced a little bit on Friday, maybe 40 points. Nothing really momentous, but this week should be a very big day for the Dow. So because there are some specific numbers in the housing industry that are coming out, it will affect it. Okay? And a lot of the United States is based on real estate. A lot of the economy of the United States is based on real estate. So it'd be interesting to see if we can challenge these upper numbers at 16,590, 16,600 on the upside. Remember, this thing has, made its miraculous way back after hitting, 7,000, 6,900, 6,600 back in 2009. So we've been on this tear ever since. And if you look at the graph, it looks like a little bit flatlining. Okay, we broke it last week, but then retraced it right back. And now we're just sitting on top of what was previous resistance and now anticipated support. So if we do break it on the downside, I do expect the correction to go all the way down to maybe 16,000. But if we break it on the upside, we can even hit 17,000 by the summer. So this is a game of cat and mouse, because the stocks are going up, and then the Dow goes, it doesn't go, and then the Dow goes, and then the stocks are not really going. So it's harder to tell the direction of the index when there's not this continuous momentum. But spots like this is where the confusion actually goes. So what do you do in spots like this? You scale down. You don't trade as big. You don't get as aggressive, so that you don't get caught in either way. Okay, because you could churn yourself and really burn up some of your account needlessly here. But you're looking for trend, and you're looking for things to anticipate in order to get higher. So if we do break up above this 16,570 level, I would anticipate it going to 17,000. If we break the 16,400 level, I would say we would test the 16,000 again. But you've got to be in it to win it. So even if you're trading a little bit small initially, get yourself with your feet wet, and then once you see something is working your way, you can get a lot more aggressive. All right, this is Razak at CMTrading. Have a great trading day, guys. Thanks.